Hey everybody, Mario here with AOB USA. Really excited to be able to have some time with you midday on a Wednesday to help sharpen your skill set. Yeah. Go ahead and mute. Let me mute everybody out. Boom. Okay. So everybody's muted out. And what we're doing here today, guys, is just that, lunch and learn. We're here to learn. And what topics are we going to cover? We're going to rotate, guys. Some days we might come in here and we're going to talk about sales skills, right? How to create urgency, how to overcome objections or objectives that people might be giving you. We might be talking about, like today, we're going to talk about CRM system, how to navigate that system, how to purchase leads. There's going to be a lot of how-to, but on this particular weekly training, please, one, put it on your calendar, okay? It will be every single week at 12 noon Pacific. Now, what I also encourage you guys to do is, if you can, please put your camera on, because what it does is it keeps you accountable to being present in class, right? And take good notes, because, right, definitely do leaders take notes and they review them often. So real quick, before I bring on our trainer today, which you guys all know, love, and trust, I just want to go over a shell of what our typical week is going to look like. We still have a couple of things that we're trying to figure out if we want to add to our weekly training schedule. And when we do, we will put that out in one spot for everybody to see. Now, with that being said, I wanted to tentatively get you guys an understanding on what we're doing. So on Sunday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific, we're going to have a team call, and it's a phone call by, on purpose. The reason we do that is because it's going to be about a 10-15 minute call to help you to get prepared for the upcoming week. Whether we like it or not, most people are getting prepared for the week on Sunday night. Okay, so Sunday night team call, 10-15 minutes. On Monday through Friday, okay, at 7 a.m. Pacific, we're having a wake-up call. How many of you guys have been enjoying the wake-up call so far? So every morning, 10 minutes, again, a phone call by design. If you got to drop the kids off, you're still getting ready for work, you're in commute, log in, you're just making a phone call, and you can listen to that to get your day started right. Now, on Mondays, okay, we have a weekly agency meeting. So everybody in our agency, Advantage One Brokers USA, is going to get on a Zoom call at 4 p.m. Pacific, and that's going to be a weekly team training, a meeting, okay? So everything that we do, okay, and this is for you when you start to build and develop your own personal agency. My mentor taught me a long time ago, you never pull somebody off the floor. You never pull somebody out of the trenches for just anything, right? You only do it for 3 reasons. Number one is for a little bit of inspiration. Sometimes we need to get plugged in. We need to get our mindset right. We need to get a heart check, right? We say get a checkup from the neck up. Number one, inspiration. Number two, education, right? Which is what we're going to focus on today. Educating folks on processes, on skill set developments and whatnot, and products. And then number 3, guys, is accountability. On Mondays, we are going to start trying to figure out, for those of us that want to be proactive, those of us that want to take ownership of our business. Some of you might say, Mario, I'm not just going to say that I want to be accountable. I'm going to make myself accountable. And that's what we do. We have some accountability calls on Monday. So Monday afternoon, 4 p.m., we're going to have our agency accountability call. Now on Tuesday, we're still up in the air if we're going to have any other trainings on Tuesday. We do have our wake-up call on Wednesday, 7 a.m., Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific, our lunch and learn. Thursday morning, we've got our wake-up call. Thursday evening, now this is not on the books yet, only because it's not ready yet, but we are going to be doing what's called a business opportunity meeting on Thursday nights at 6:30 Pacific. This will be over Zoom, but what does that mean? Listen, every single one of us probably have 1 or 2 of our friends that we'd really like to see, show them the AOB opportunity, right? And so you can invite them to this presentation on Thursday night. Myself, I will be doing this. Some of the leaders will rotate, where we're going to go through a business presentation so that somebody you know in your network might want to join. But let me make sure I tell you something 100%. The most important thing you can do when you get started right now is get trained, get contracted, buy some leads, and go make some money. So I want to make sure that I'm very clear. Our Thursday night business opportunity meeting is probably going to be pretty small for the first couple of weeks. But as you start going out there and writing business and making money, it is going to be so easy to be at the barbecue on Sunday after church and be like, man, how's everything going? Oh, it's going great. What about you? Oh man, I'm blessed, man. I just started a new business and man, I made 10 grand last week. You did what? Yeah, I made 10 grand last week. How? Man, I want to know how to do that, right? Then you send them over to that meeting. We are not here to tell you that that's your priority. No, your priority is to buy leads, write policies, and make money for you and your family. But organically, we are going to be having people that want to see the business, and that's what Thursday night is for. Friday morning, we've got the wake-up call. We've also going to be having a manager meeting on Fridays once we start developing and promoting more managers. Saturday, we're probably going to be doing, this is something that's still kind of up in the air. We're going to be doing a podcast interview with the leaders in the company, having Spencer, Chris, and some of them coming on. So that's the week in a nutshell. Again, once we solidify and hammer down some more of these trainings, we will put it all in one place and we'll put it out to the team. And for whoever it was that said it's too small, we'll make sure it's readable. Okay. So with that being said, guys, I want to turn it over to one of our managers out of the Los Angeles area. And I'm going to tell you real quick before I turn it over to him, I want to give him a shout out because this gentleman always has his phone on. He's always available for everybody to call and ask him or text him for questions. He is like a walking encyclopedia of all things AOB and all of our carriers. And I've just got a tremendous amount of respect for this gentleman. Has really no prior sales experience. And before we transferred over from our last IMO, was doing anywhere from $25,000 to $40,000 a month in sales. And so that is manager, Mr. Darren Lee, and he's going to talk about, so I'm hoping you guys are taking notes. He's going to talk about how to navigate through your CRM system. And if you don't have access, what does that look like? And then how to buy leads. And then we're also going to talk about, as a leadership team, we've crunched the numbers. We've gone through all the different strategies. We're going to endorse a specific lead order for new people when they get started. What should you be buying when you come out of the gate? So guys, I'm going to turn it over to Darren. Darren, are you there, sir?
Hey, Mario. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. And I'm going to put you on spotlight as well.
Awesome. So thanks so much for the introduction. So basically, just to introduce myself again and to give you guys a better context, it's true, I don't have that much sales experience, and I think that's one of the most relatable things that I can let people know about, is because with sales, the way I got into it was it really wasn't something that, like most folks that we dream about, like one day I want to sell insurance, right? So I kind of got into this. I had very, very limited sales experience. I came from the home improvement background, doing in-home sales as well. So transitioning into this, it wasn't easy for me as well, right? Because sales for me, it was hard. It's difficult, and it's still difficult now. So what I would like most people to know about me is that it's not easy for me. It's not easy for me to put up numbers at our previous IMO, to put up 20, 30,000 a month, because for me, it was a very long learning curve. But the most grateful thing I'm grateful about in this business is that it's lead driven. Because if and my partner Will brought me into this business. If he told me that I had to talk to families and friends, it would be a hard no, right? That recruiting call would have been a hard no. But luckily, we do have people that fill out a form because they are actually interested in protecting their family, protecting their mortgage, or getting some final expense coverage. So just to dive into it, the way I want to structure this training is, first I'm going to talk about the different types of leads that they have at Advantage One brokers, right? And at the end, you guys can ask some Q&A questions about, if you guys came from a different IMO. I have a little bit of experience, so I can give my opinion, my opinion about other lead types out there, third-party vendors, and you guys might be wondering, like, what is the difference? So that's the first thing, going over lead type. The second thing is I want to make sure that we have a lead strategy down for this team, right? We're all kind of running the same strategy. That way we can ping each other and ask each other, hey, how are you guys doing in terms of this aspect, or booking appointments, right? Versus if everybody on this team ran different lead types, did a different strategy. You know, some person is doing families and friends, some person is running third-party vendor leads, another person is doing something else, then it would be really hard for us to get value out of each other in terms of these meetings, like getting constructive feedback, because we're really running a different strategy, right? So making sure that we're on the same page in terms of lead strategy, getting started quick at Advantage One. And then third is how to actually purchase these leads, right? And it's throughout these past couple of weeks, it's been pretty hectic, but I really appreciate everybody on here that has trusted us and came over here and being patient with the entire process, right? It is going to take time because these are quality leads. So I'm going to touch upon those three things, and then at the end, you guys can ask any questions and we can bounce back and forth. So I'm going to share my screen here, and let's see.
You're a co-host, so you should be able to do it, brother.
Oh, okay. Okay, so everything that I'm showing you, it can be accessed on the insurance blueprint. Everybody that signed up with us, you guys were given a login to www.myinsuranceblueprint.com. This is simply a course, a step-by-step course, a way for us to organize everybody coming over so that it's not hectic. You know exactly what to do, and it's laid out in a step-by-step order from getting plugged in, getting onboarded, getting contracted, and so on. So this document, if you guys want to actually get the copy, it's going to be in the insurance blueprint, and I'll show you where to find it. So once you log in, it's going to be in basic training. And then here you'll see a couple things, but you'll see Advantage One lead types. So that's how I'm opening this up. These are all the lead types that Advantage One offers. Now their flagship leads are going to be right here, direct mail A leads. And specifically, it's going to be mortgage protection leads. So as a team, we're focusing on mortgage protection. And I can dive into a little bit why we're focusing on that compared to final expense. Here you can see, we have direct mail A leads for mortgage protection, final expense, also B leads for mortgage protection, final expense, Facebook leads. They also call them, I think they call them digital leads on the CRM, so it might be a different name, but they're basically Facebook leads. They have something called data leads. Telemarketing leads are also known in the industry as teleleads. They're the same thing. So live transfer leads. So this is just a way for me to organize, exactly what each of these lead types are based on the target market, right? We can see direct mail A leads. They have it for mortgage protection and final expense, right? So this, hopefully, just by looking at this, it's pretty self-explanatory. We have cost here, right? Their flagship leads are $50. Fulfillment time, right? Right now, it is taken, if it's super quick, 2 weeks, but we're going to say 3 to 4 weeks from the day that you place your order and you see it processed on your credit card. It's going to take 3 to 4 weeks waiting time until they start arriving. So that is where we have to be patient. But we're not sitting around just waiting for leads to come. We have other lead times as well. And then here, so why don't I do this? I'm going to go over each lead type and then kind of go through these factors on the left. So with direct mail mortgage protection A leads, right? These are $50 each. So coming from my previous IMO, it seemed like a lot, right? That's kind of how I felt. But I'll give you my personal experience because at my previous IMO, we were buying leads for $4. Yes, they were not exclusive. They were resold multiple times, but it was cheap, right? And then, so it was just resold leads. So the difference with these is that they're exclusive. But I'll tell you my personal experience. I tend to be a very cheap person, so I like to get things at cheap costs and all of that. That was my mindset. But on the side, I spent a lot of time and I spent a lot of my own personal money. I spent a lot more money trying to trying to find a better system, and that ultimately cost me a lot more money and a lot of time wasted versus if I had just bought better quality leads and just said, okay, you know what, I'm going to spend the money, save less time on the phone, because instead of being on the phone for 10, 12 hours because I'm calling really low quality leads, I'm really just spending 2 hours a week on the phone calling exclusive leads. So ultimately, it's the more cost efficient strategy because you're saving a lot of time, and time is money, because that time that you saved, you could have went to a lot more appointments. We went over we went over fulfillment time, so 3 to 4 weeks. So benefit here is maximized on the time, and it's the highest quality lead. Ideal agent is for brand new agents. The reason why is because these are extremely high intent leads. And I do have to go into how they're generated. So the generation method, they're very transparent on how these leads are generated. So what I understand so far is that Advantage One, they have their own in-house mail houses, right? But you might be asking, okay, how is that different from other third-party direct mail vendors, right? Why can't I go with them? Two things. One is how they're generated. Is because they own their own mail houses, they also have partnerships with basically all of the top largest population counties across the entire US. So whenever they actually have the data, so they know whenever somebody has a refinance on their home or they recently purchased a new home, they are going to, it's going to trigger an event and they will be notified that, hey, this person, we got to send out a mailer to them. So that's how they're actually getting their mailer. So by doing that, our mailers at Advantage One, we receive them back 1 week earlier than other typical third-party vendors. So basically, you're guaranteed to be the first one calling them, to be the first one in the home. And that's a huge advantage, right? The first mover's advantage. If you're the first person they see, you're gonna close the deal. The second thing is cost. This is where they're called cost sharing leads. So if you actually look this up on Google, you try to find your own direct mail leads, they will cost anywhere from $75 to $95. They're extremely expensive, whereas here they're $50. So they subsidize like about 40% of the cost you're not paying for, right? There's a huge discount. So as a brand new agent, you're gonna get results really quick, right? In terms of conversion rates, because this business is based on numbers, we have to actually, ask the question, okay, how well are they? What are the average, or what's the law of averages? What is the average conversion rate? If I buy X amount of leads, how many am I going to close? So here we have the conversion rates. Leads purchased. We recommend you purchasing no more than 10, 15, 20 leads because of the quality of the leads. So if you purchase 10 leads on a standing basis, every week we have 10 fresh leads coming in. Out of those 10 leads, you call them, you triple dial them, you hit them up, not just call them once, right? We're saying some people, they may or may not pick up, but you have multiple attempts at calling them. If you do that, you should be able to book 8 appointments. Out of 8 appointments, the show up rate is also extremely high. So maybe you might have one person not show up, right? But show up rate will be around 80%, maybe even higher, right? So out of 8 though, that you book, you're gonna close 5. So these are the averages, meaning that you buy 10 leads, you're gonna close 5 if you really work them. And then I also even have a row here for exclusivity, right? They're transparent on which leads are exclusive and which leads aren't. There will be IMOs out there that tell you, hey, these leads are exclusive, but they're actually not. They've been resold many times over. And so as you can see here, the only lead that is not non-exclusive is the direct mail B leads. So going over here, we have this for mortgage protection, right? The cost of lead is $4. So because it's $4, it's cost effective, right? Fulfillment time, the moment you place this order, It's going to take roughly, actually it's quicker. I receive my leads in actually maybe 4 days. So I'll put 3 to 5 days. So it's pretty quick. You're going to get this really quick. Who's the ideal agent? I would say it's going to be everybody, especially even new agents, because with volume, the way I see it is I'm giving myself permission to fail, right? To fumble over the phone because I got 100 other more B leads to call, right? Versus if I only had 10 A leads and that was it, I had no other leads, I would feel pretty pressured on the phone to, maybe have performance anxiety and and maybe that will actually hinder my performance, right? So that's the best thing with this is that we have volume, right? We can purchase volume at a low cost. Generation method. So to be transparent, the way these are generated is B leads are A leads. They're A leads that have been resold twice. So how this works is the B lead is when a agent has not claimed an A lead and it's been there's been some my bad, let me go back. So these leads, they're actually a few years old. It could be 1 year old, 2 years old, 3 years old. That's what I understand. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I understand so far. They're pretty aged, right? The difference is that they've been resold once outside to another agent outside of Advantage One brokers, and they've been resold another time to an Advantage One agent broker. So 2 times only. At my former IMO, they would resell leads multiple times over, like 20 times over. So the main difference here is that you will find the quality of lead to be higher than resold leads, because on the phone, you're not getting, out of 10 people that pick up, you're not getting 8 people yelling you on the phone, telling you, hey, look, I've been called like 10 times already. Like, you guys got to take me off the list. That's not going to happen. Typically, the only objections you will get is, hey, you know what? I've got it taken care of already. I'm no longer interested, right? That's really the main objection. And then as far as the objection, I did miss with direct mail A leads, very, very few objections, minimal to no objections. Whereas B leads, the typical objection is I've gotten taken care of already versus, hey, soft calling me, they're cussing you out and all of that. You're not going to get that. So conversion rates, typically what's recommended is we supplement those A leads with 50 B leads a week, right? So every week we're getting 50 new B leads, 50 new B leads. Out of that, you call them, you work that lead over the phone, you're going to book 10 out of 50. So that's a 20% booking rate, right? Out of the people that you booked, you're going to close 50%. So, so it's still really, really high compared to resold lead. A resold lead that's been resold multiple times over. At my previous IMO, the law of average there was 2.5%. Meaning if you bought 100 leads, you got to expect to really close 2.5 policies. That's it. You can't expect to close 10 because that's not the average, right? You're going to have unrealistic expectations. Whereas here it's 10%, right? So 5 out of 50, that's 10%. And then we went over exclusivity. So that's that. These are some other leads that aren't really going to be part of the strategy. So, but I can still kind of gloss them over. If you guys want me to, I can kind of touch a bit upon them. So Facebook leads, day leads, telemarketing leads, and live transfer leads. So most of us here, we're face-to-face agents, right? I know that Advantage One, they do remote sales. They have a platform for that. But typically for brand new agents, it's always recommended to start off, get your foot wet with face-to-face before kind of transitioning over to telesales, just because of the difficulty, the level of skill that you got to have with being over the phone. So I'll just go over it. So if you're telesales, what they recommend, right, is telemarketing leads and live transfer leads. Along with all these other leads can be done over the phone, right? Any lead can be done over the phone via telesales. But Mara, do you want me to go over these, or is it not really relevant as a face-to-face agent? Because this can go pretty long. I mean, I don't think it's really relevant, but I want you to let me know.
Yeah, not really. I mean, just very lightly, just kind of give them a what this is, boom, 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 and then we'll keep moving.
Okay, so I'll put it in this sense. Anybody here that you eventually have a desire to be a telesales agent, right? And I do as well, right? But I know my skill level is not there. We're not going to say, hey, don't do telesales. You want to do something, you can definitely do it. This is your business. You're an independent broker. All we're just saying is eventually you can do this. And what you would do is, as a telesales agent, you would be on this program, their telesales platform, where you get live transfer leads, right? So a typical day is, you got to let them know from what time you're going to clock in, what time you're going to clock out. So as a telesales agent, you're home all day, but you'll let's say 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Okay, that's when I'm going to clock in. You have to be available whenever there is an inbound lead, right? These are the live transfer leads. So what's an inbound lead? They have call centers, based in the US and also overseas. They have call centers where people are prospecting. They're prospecting for folks that are interested in life insurance. The moment they say, hey, I'm interested in life insurance, let me hear more about it. Okay, great. Let me transfer you over to an agent, and they'll show you some options. So they make that transfer over to you. So it's a very hot lead, right? Which means you got to be available. You got to be available to take that call. Conversion rates are really high. If you're skilled, on average, well, it's not if you're skilled, you have to be skilled, right? On average, it's out of every 10 transfers you get, you're going to close 50%. So you get a transfer in, it's a coin toss. 50%, you're going to close it. Now, because you're on this program, within those, let's just say a typical day, you're not going to get like inbound calls all day long. You're probably going to get 4, 5, 6 inbound calls that day. So what do? You're not going to just sit around, right? So what these telesales agents do is, as they're waiting for an inbound call, they're staying productive. They're buying direct mail A leads, B leads. They're buying Facebook leads, day leads, telemarketing leads, and they're working those leads while they're waiting for an inbound call. So they're actually calling up these other lead types, right, and doing an appointment over the phone on the spot, or they book an appointment to talk to them later during the day. So that's really the typical day-to-day of a telesales agent. Data leads, I can touch a little bit upon. All data leads are their source. If you look at generation method, they come from the direct mail A leads. So when they mail out like thousands and thousands of these mailers, and they have the data, right, of these people that just purchased a home, or they refinance, they have the data, and they're sending out these mailers to them. Typically for a mailer, they'll get a 1%, maybe even lower than 1% or 1.2% return rate. So it's very, very low, which means whoever takes like the time to read the mailer, fill out their information, and go to, drop it off at the mailbox, that's really high intent. But 99% of the other people that don't, those people that never read the mail or throw mail out, keep in mind, they just bought a house or they just refinanced. All right, there's missing coverage there. So with these is you get the data for $4. You get all the information, name, address, phone number, all of that, their lender, how much they have on the mortgage, so that when you call them, it is a different script, but you are just letting them know, hey, I'm just getting a call because we sent you a mailer just a few weeks ago, right? And the reason why we did that is because, you just purchased home. Congrats, right? But I do have to come out. I need to set a time to come out and show you this information. So that's really the angle there. I don't know the exact script, but there's training for that. There's training for all these different lead types. Last one here is Facebook leads. And I love this because as a face-to-face agent, if you just look at the cost here, $30. So it's quality lead. So, and then let me update this. So this is mortgage protection. So Facebook leads, they have it for mortgage protection. And if you try to find a mortgage protection Facebook lead vendor, you won't find it except for one lead vendor, which you can check. It's called Leadrilla, but you'll be charged $36 for it. Whereas here it's $30. And the conversion rate is a lot higher than typical third-party vendor Facebook leads. So really, just to keep this simple, higher closing rate than other Facebook lead vendors, shared lead costs, so you're saving $6. High intent, it's 100% exclusive. So in a nutshell, these are basically all the leads that are offered, the main ones at least, that are offered at Advantage One. So now I'm going to go into lead strategy. But before I kind of jump into that, let me just get a check. Is everybody, any questions so far at this point, or anything that's confusing?
I think we've covered most of the questions in there already. Just generally speaking, guys, telesales usually just requires a little bit more seasoning, a little bit more skill set. Not to say anybody can't do it. But you know, you might run into, for instance, I got a direct mail lead for mortgage protection just yesterday. And hey, I'm coming down and be in the area. And he said, well, my daughter, who's in elementary school, actually just tested positive for COVID. So we're quarantining. Okay, cool. Well, we can also jump on a Zoom, and I've got it tomorrow at 8 a.m. So I would, me speaking for myself, I'm generally going to go kneecap to kneecap in person, because that's where I feel more comfortable. But I want to get the lay of the land down, and then I'm going to start transitioning to telesales as well, so that I can kind of be best of both worlds. But that's really your prerogative, guys. But as a leadership team, we're going to be endorsing that in person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that I think most folks that I've spoke to is the exact same way, where a lot of people tend to feel more comfortable face to face. It's less awkward and stuff like that, versus like talking to somebody and not being able to see their emotions, and it's a bit colder. But what I do know is that I've done telesales as well, and I've closed over the phone. It's no different than face to face. If somebody told me that, hey, you know, they can't meet in person, there's no way because of COVID or something, right? They'd rather do it virtually. No problem. We'll set the appointment at this time. Make sure you mark it on your calendar. I'm super busy, right? Keep a lookout on for this phone number. You call them on spot. And the way I do it is I just do the telesale exact same way as my face-to-face. But I just keep in mind, I do have to be a lot more pleasurable over the phone, since they can't see.
Also, just remember that when you're doing telesales, you have no control over how it's going to end. So people can hang up on you. You can give your numbers out, and they got what they need, and they're out. So that's another reason why telesales isn't the recommended path that we're recommending.
And
right as a starting agent.
Yeah, make note for starting. So
for starting,
once you get it down and you feel comfortable, guys, I mean, obviously it makes a lot of sense to stay at home, not drive anywhere. But yeah, the close, that's my deal, is the close is a lot more difficult when you're over the phone as opposed to in somebody's kitchen. But yeah, I think that's all though. Cool. Unless there's any other specific questions you guys want to type in, or you guys raise your hand if you want to ask a question.
Okay.
I got one quick comment about these A-leads. I've been calling these A-leads, guys, and they're fire. It's unbelievably, they're so easy to book, and these people really want the product. So once they're available, you guys got to get them. And I can't stress. I don't want this to become a marketing for A-leads call, but these things are fire.
Awesome. Let's see here.
Okay, so
Amanda, we can talk offline if you want to ask me a little bit about the Facebook pages, business Facebook pages. Because I know you said you came out of the real estate space, and that's something that you guys do a lot. It's not really necessary here, but I'm actually on Lunch and Learn. One of the topics is to talk about social media marketing. I've organically built some pretty big social media platforms with real followers, not bot followers. So that's on the slate for Lunch and Learn is to do some social media. But reach out to Ben, ask him to get you my number, and I'll kind of chat with you a little bit about that offline. All right, Darren, go ahead and talk about strategy, brother.
Awesome. Okay, so yeah, Bill. So I will go into how to place a standing order on the CRM. So next, we're going to talk about lead strategy, and specifically for a starting agent or experienced agent coming from a previous IMO, coming in with experience, for a face-to-face agent, right? Whether or not you intend to eventually move on to telesales or not, this will be applicable in our time right now during this entire transition. So lead strategy for face-to-face, this is going to be the standard recommended. If you're part-time, right? Let's just say part-time, you're going to work 20 hours a week. It is recommended that you purchase minimum 10 A-leads standing order, meaning that on a weekly basis, right? They know that every week we're gonna on a consistent basis send you additional 10 mortgage protection A. That is what's recommended, and they don't recommend more than 20, just because you're not going to be able to handle that much, because I think folks or agents that are experienced that come from another IMO where the model is lead driven, depending on the lead type, if it's a low quality lead, you have to supplement with volume and activity. Whereas here, we are starting with quality leads, so we don't need to really supplement much by being on the phone for 10 hours, 12 hours a day, and spend $15 to $2,000 a week on leads. Here, spend $500, but get 10 A leads, and that's that. And you work, you provide your service, and that's that. So 10 minimum A leads if you're part-time. If you're full-time, you're in it to win it. 20 leads, 20 A leads, that'll get you like 20, 25, 30 appointments even if you run them correctly. Now, supplement, in terms of supplement, you got options, okay? So these, we don't have much information yet, right? People are actually doing some beta testing. So we'll get some testimonials out and kind of see how they're doing. But as of now, Facebook leads are available and B leads are available. Right, I just purchased 100 B leads 3 days ago. I just got them just now, right? So my strategy is I'm supplementing with a lot of B leads. I purchased 100, and my reason behind that is because I know whenever I start something new, it doesn't need to be a new business, or something where it's a little different. I want to give myself permission to fail. Right. And what I really don't like is sales pressure or performance pressure. I don't like that. Right. In the home, I want to keep my power, my leverage. I want to know that, hey, I don't care. I really don't care if you do this or not. Right. I know what I can control, which I can give my best of service, right, in the best way possible. Right. Ball's in my court. I do my job. Now it's up to you to protect your family. I can't force spoon feed you, right? So that's my mindset. But I know that it's one thing to think like that, but I know starting off something new, it's going to be rusty, it's going to be rocky. So I'm giving myself permission to fail with volume, right? So I just doubled up. Instead of 50, I'm going to purchase 100, right? If I mess up a couple times, no problem. I have dozens more to call. That's not going to be an issue for me, right? And I know that clients can feel that. They can feel, when you don't feel confident, and that's what I am trying to mitigate, right? It's all about confidence. I know for this, once I close one, my confidence is going to skyrocket, and it's just going to be a momentum. It's closing, because you're going to be closing with your confidence, fueled by your confidence. So that I do know is true, because the same thing happened at the previous IMO, right? No experience, everything is brand new, super nervous and all that. That's going to happen. But how do you respond to that? How are you going to game plan it, knowing that this is my game plan for that, right? This is my personality, right? I'm not like a rock star going to close every single one. I know that I'm gonna start sucking. It's okay because I'm gonna give my I know because I know that I'm gonna supplement with activity. So if somebody is doing this much, I'm gonna do double, right? If somebody buys this much, I'm gonna do double, just so that I can feel more comfortable, and I don't have to be in a survival mindset of like, oh, if I don't close this, I can't pay rent. I never want to be in that mindset. It's not good for the customer. It's not good for you. So supplementing, right now I'm doing V leads. This is also an option, Facebook leads. You see there's a lot of question marks. I don't know much about this, honestly, but I do know that they are cheaper than the market. You're saving $6. They have a really higher, much higher closing ratio. But I don't know much about the fulfillment time, so that we can kind of ask them about. But as of now, this is the recommendation. If you're part-time, 10 A leads, right? Or if you're full-time, 20. No, I mean, not 20, but no more than 20. And then supplement with, if you're part-time, 50 B leads. And then full-time, I'm doing this full-time, 100 B leads, right? So that's in terms of the lead strategy. Very simple, right? Standing order on a weekly basis. We have fresh leads coming in. I don't have to worry. In terms of activity, that's a huge thing. My mindset, and I kind of touched upon it, is my mindset is I may suck, and if I do, that's okay, because I'm gonna overcompensate with my activity. And when you overcompensate with your activity, I know I'll be fine. I'm not gonna be living under a bridge. There's no way. There's no way that's gonna happen, right? So just to keep it simple, that's really all it is. My lead strategy is just what I would recommend is depending, kind of check yourself in your head. How confident do I feel? And there's no right or wrong answer. If you don't really feel confident, that's okay. Like most people don't feel confident. But what are you going to do about that? Okay, for me, I'm going to overcompensate with activity, right? You're not going to be the type of person that's like, okay, I don't feel confident. Oh, woe is me. I'm not going to do anything about it. No, you have the power to do something about it. And the best thing that I like about this business, or even any other business, any skill set, and this is a dose of optimism, is that today is going to be the worst, right? Every day after that, it's going to get better and better and better. It's only going to get better. So if you think today sucked, well, guess what? That's great, because if this is like hell, it's not that bad. It can only get better. So that's how I see it. Before kind of segueing to actually, the practical part and placing the lead order and purchasing leads via the CRM, the lead order form. Well, how do you guys feel about everything I just kind of touched upon? Did that kind of answered some questions or some doubts that you guys had?
So we're gonna type in your questions, guys. While you do, I'll just kind of reiterate. So lead strategy recommended is 10 standing order A leads on mortgage protection. Okay. Now those will take, that first order is going to take, I would say, expect about 3 weeks. Okay. Because it is literally putting it in the mail, getting to somebody's house. Who knows how long it sits on the kitchen counter. They get it, fill it out, gets back in the mail by the time it comes back. So it's going to take some time, and they're going to be throwing out flyers every single week for that standing order. In the interim, 25 to 50, even 100 B leads for mortgage protection. And if you want to go hard, grab 10 to 15 of the Facebook leads as well. Those are where we're going to be starting. That's what we're going to be endorsing right now as well. Okay. So I don't see any other questions coming in. Darren, why don't you show us how to, there at this point, because we're transitioning into the CRM, and we've only got 12 minutes left, by the way. There are a couple of leads we still have to send the form on. So maybe make sure you differentiate where that form is, where to send it, and then show the CRM system as well. Appreciate you, Darren.
Okay. So, all right, let's jump into how to purchase them. As of right now, we're in a transition period, right? So as of right now, if you want to purchase A leads, the way you got to do it is you can log into first the OptCRM that they use. The way you get access to that is you're not going to get access until you've gone through the contracting process. So Everybody, we've been sent this, how to get contact, everything's here, right? You've probably been through this already, onboarding, getting plugged in, and then contracting. All the steps are there, all the cares. You just got to follow it step by step, because they're not going to give you access to this because they pay for this until you do that. Once you have done that, you'll get an email for it with your login. So I'm just going to log in, and we're going to talk A-leads as of this week. Their plan is maybe like in the next week, they will start allowing you to purchase B leads. They're going to start loading up B leads in the CRM, and then you can purchase them there. So with the CRM, once you get in, this is kind of homepage. You do kind of have to set up, just confirm your information here, make sure it's all good. But what they do want you to do is add your credit card. Right, so you can have 3, primary default card. I've added mine already, right? Once you add it in, you'll have everything here. Note of caution is that they have been pretty emphasizing that when you type in your card, you want to make sure that it is accurate. If you miss 1 digit, they're going to have some issues on the back end, and it's going to hold up your lead order, and it could be weeks. So just make sure, when you put in your card info, it's actually accurate. Just double check it before you do that. That's okay. So that's that. Once you put it in, I think you do have to wait like 24 hours. You can't like start using it right away. Oh, and then one thing is if you join like back in August and you place a lead order form using you place a lead order using the lead order form, which looks like this, then you should receive a credit here. And if you don't, then you have to let us know. But that was back then. So let me just show you the lead order form first. So to find the lead order form, it is in the blueprint. There's 2 of them, but it's going to be this one. This other one is for telesales. So it looks like this. And fill it out, and so if you place it with this, you got charged, you should see a credit here. As long as you see a credit, you're good. It also means that they have already mailed out your mailers in your county that you selected, and they're on their way. They're coming. So you can just start a timer for say 3 weeks. Now, during that time period, if you get a credit, you can also do what's called a instant purchase lead. The way you do that is you click lead maps, and you want to, the way I've been doing is I've been checking on a very consistent basis. When I have like a minute, I'll just kind of log in and just see, are there leads in my county? And if there's 1, 2 leads, I'm snatching them up because those are fresh A leads. So basically what the instant purchase leads are is these are mortgage protection A leads that have not been claimed by a AOB agent that placed a lead order. So they placed a lead order and they haven't claimed it, and it's been like 5 days, right? So you do want to make sure that when the leads come, you claim them. But these agents don't claim them, so they go into this marketplace where other agents can snatch them up. Because the biggest thing is they lose 40%, they lose money on every single lead they provide to us. So there's no way they're going to allow people to just sit on a lead and not call them after they paid $50 for it. There's no way that's possible. So it falls into here. Other people, other agents that are more ambitious, they're on it, they're hard workers, they will be checking this. And I'll tell you, I'm going to snatch up every single lead in San Bernardino County. That's where I live. I'm on it like a hawk, okay? But that's good. We don't need to feel like there's some kind of scarcity because I have my standing A lead order. I'm getting 10 every week. This is just a little bonus for me because I'm still waiting 1 week. And during that 1 week, I'd rather not sit around. I'd rather snatch up some leads as well. So that's how you do it. So this is just the lead map. You can see there's 122. So a lot more rolling in. It did not this entire map used to be blank. So we know these leads are starting to roll in. I'm in California, so I'm going to check California. I'm in San Bernardino County, none so far. I purchased one last night, but I'll keep checking. But if you're in other state, I want to show you if you're in, let's check Pennsylvania, right? So I will click here, go to Pennsylvania, and just see, okay, if let's just say I live in Jefferson County, there's 2. I see there's 2 here. So if that's the case, want to snatch it up, then you click that, click how many leads you want to order. So there's only 2. So I'm going to grab 2. This you don't really need to pay attention to, but you just click add. After you click add, it starts like a 10-minute timer, but you're just going to purchase it right away. So now we're doing an instant purchase. Here, you'll see a check mark for apply credit on charge. And I have credit because I placed a standing lead order form like 3 weeks ago. So that's why I have this credit. After the credit is used up, it's going to charge my credit card. So once you make sure you have that, it's going to charge your credit available. Then you click here. You accept the terms of conditions, and you click accept, and you click pay now, and that's it. Well, after you click pay now, it's gonna well, I'm not gonna pay this, but it's gonna pop up and say, great, you successfully purchased the leads, and they are transferred to your CRM instantly. So it's instant. If you don't get it instantly, there's probably some glitch, and you gotta let somebody know. But let's just say that we just purchased those leads. Where do we access them? It's gonna be in the left column. We're gonna go to my leads. After you go to my leads, you're gonna see here, this is the lead that I just purchased yesterday, and we can see that if we click the attachment, they actually show us the mailer, right? So I'm gonna, how do you do this? So click open, and then it's gonna pop up in here, and you'll just see the mailer. This is all the information, very simple, right? There's a borrow, a co-borrow, so I know that I'm dealing with husband and wife, phone number, best time to call, address is there, the lender is there, the loan amount is there. And that's really all you need. What's important though, right? Of course, you're gonna probably call on the spot and just make sure that you can book it right away as soon as possible. But they do want to know that what the status of the lead is, right? Because keep in mind, Advantage One is subsidizing their leads 40%. They're losing money on every single lead they buy. So they want to know they are going to get their ROI. They want to know that you're an agent they want to invest into and grow. So I'm going to know, hey, I called on spot, I call attempted. This person actually didn't pick up. Called them, 3-4 times this morning already. I'm going to call him later, but didn't pick up. But let's just say he did pick up. I'll do appointment. If I took an application, I'll do this application taken, right? And that way, at Advantage One, they know that, hey, I'm working this lead, and they're not gonna say, okay, this lead is not being worked. We gotta do something about this agent because he's buying a bunch of leads, he's not working it. So that's just a little communication. You want to let them know that, hey, you are going to be a good partner agent to their IMO, right? So that's purchasing instant purchase. Now, how do you purchase standing lead order? It's the same way. We go to lead maps. Actually, let's go back to the homepage. We're going to click. Okay, so last thing is we'll go over this last thing, which is placing a standing lead order. So we go here. Actually, let me go back. Okay, so you're gonna click lead orders. So from lead order, you wanna do standing order. From standing order, now the way they structure this is they make you purchase a minimum of 5 in 3 counties. So it's gotta be, you gotta select 3. So the way I did it is because I live right about here, the edge of Los Angeles and San Bernardino, I'm gonna click, like whichever you click first is gonna be the first priority. They're gonna try to get the most amount of leads. This is your preferred county that they're gonna try to get the most leads in. Versus the second one that you pick, right? So I'm gonna click, this is my first go-to. Right, the second one that I pick, it's going to be like the secondary one, and then versus the third one. So my second pick is going to be like, for example, if there's not enough leads that come up in San Bernardino, I want to work There's Los Angeles. Oh, there you go. Okay, this is my second pick. So that's my second pick. And then my third pick is if there's not enough leads in San Bernardino, LA, I'm going to choose Orange County. So those are going to be my top 3 picks. So you'll see minimum 5 in 3 counties. That's 15. So that's $50 each. That's going to be $50, right? Lead type is going to be more protection, A leads. And then you're just going to click add to cart. So after you click add to cart, you'll see a cart here. We're going to click that and we're going to check out. And then you'll just see this. Make sure everything is good. The frequency, there's only one option. It's every week. It's going to be repeated until it's stopped, and you like let them know via email. It's got to be written. You let them know that, hey, I no longer want to be on a standing lead order basis. Same thing here. You just check the terms of service, accept it, and pay now. And it's going to charge your credit card. And the moment it's charged, you can start, the clock until they arrive. So that's pretty much it. We went over purchasing instant. Anybody can literally log in right now and start purchasing instant if they're available. But definitely the priority is make sure that you're on the reserve list for these territories, so they know every week we're going to send you 10 leads, 15 leads, or 20 leads. So I think that pretty much covers it, right? We went over standing lead order and instant purchases.
Awesome. Well, guys, we want to be respectful of your time. Everybody, guys, give it up for Darren. Darren is a wealth of knowledge. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you for pouring into us.
For sure.
This will be recorded. It's been recorded. We're going to convert it and we're going to put it on our YouTube channel. So you can always go back there and take a look. So tomorrow morning, we've got our wake up call, 7 a.m. Make sure that's on your calendar. Otherwise, guys, have a great afternoon or evening, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
All right.